NIOS welcomes you in this educational video. This is subject Library and Information Science. Code number for this subject is 339. This video is for senior secondary level. We are doing lesson number 2. Name of the lesson is Types of Libraries and Information Centers. This video is part 9. You can see the images on the screen. These images are about National Library of India. All these libraries are not the small libraries, but they are at the national level. Let us now understand the national libraries. In most countries, there is a national library maintained by national resources, usually entrusted with the responsibility of publishing a national bibliography. Because these libraries are at the national level, so they have the information related to their own country. The second point explains that national libraries collect and preserve the nation's literature. And most national libraries receive by the legal rights, or we can say the copyrights, or deposit one free copy of each book and periodical printed in the country. The content which is kept in the library is of the own country. And the literature has generally of 2 copies. One is the free copy and the second periodical is the printed copy, which is kept as a reservoir, or you can say the master copy. The National Library is a library which is specifically established and funded by the government of a country to serve as the preeminent repository of information for that country. And in National Library, a limited number of books are lent out to readers under certain terms and conditions. And the National Library rarely allows citizens to borrow the rare valuable, or significant works. Because the content and the material which are kept in the National Library, they are of the national importance. Let us now understand the definition of a national library. According to the Harrods Librarian's Glossary in the year 1987, the National Library is defined as a national library as a library maintained out of government funds and serves the nation as a whole. The books are mainly for reference and they usually receive material through legal deposit legislation. The function of such a library is to collect and preserve for posterity all the published records with books, periodicals, newspapers, and other printed and multimedia material of the country's cultural heritage. And this is best done by a law requiring publishers to deposit copies of all publications produced by them and by purchasing books on their country published in other countries. A legal deposit normally has plenty clauses to enable the act to be enforced. As we already have understood that there is a legal deposit which is mandatory and it has normally the penalty clauses so that it can enable some act that needs to be enforced. Now, these are some objectives and functions of a national library. One objective is to provide leadership among the nation's libraries. The second point, which explains the objectives and function of the National Library as a service of the permanent depository for all publications which are issued in the country. Being the national level library, all the information which is deposited there is a kind of permanent depository. The third point explains that the National Library has all the facilities so that anyone can acquire other types of material also. The fourth point explains the objective of National Library as a service which provides the bibliographical services to the users. The fifth objective can be to serve as a coordinating center for cooperative activities. And the next, which is the sixth objective of National Library, is to provide service to the government. And these are some of the examples of national libraries. The first example is of the National Library of India. You can see the website address. The second example is of the Library of Congress. In short, we call it as LC. The full form is Library of Congress. It is in USA. The third example is the British Library, which is in UK. You can also visit the website. And the fourth example is of the National Library of Canada, which is in Canada. You can see the web address and you all easily can access the website and get more information. Thank you.